I'm in China, but it certainly feels like I'm in Great Britain.
Hong Kong, under British rule, has grown a modern Western city in an Eastern setting.
And right in the center of downtown Hong Kong are the British Cricket Club grounds. Cricket has been played on these grounds since 1880.
Hong Kong is a peculiar place. It's a British colony until just 1997, and because of that, the British culture here is so visible. This ferry was set up by the British in 1888.
Day and night, the five-star ferry comes and goes, providing cross-harbor transportation.
These trams were brought over by the British in the early 1900s. If you go to London, you'll see double-decker buses that actually look exactly like the buses here. You notice what side of the road they're driving on? So many of the street names, road names, are British.
The famous Happy Valley Racetrack, reputedly the most beautiful in the East.
Come on! Rolling through this park, and I stumbled upon a legit bowling green. A place where they play bowls. Old British sport. That is just right here in the middle of Hong Kong.
The British brought good administration and a gracious way of living, typified by these homes and apartments on Victoria Peak.
Around the late 1600s or early 1700s, Britain started trading with China. China had all sorts of stuff that the West wanted. Porcelain, silk. But there was one thing that Britain loved more than anything else. The herb called tea. China was really the only place on earth that was producing tea on a massive scale, and the people back in Britain became totally hooked on it. But there was one snag for the British government when it came to the tea trade, which is that the Chinese emperor would only take pure silver bullion, basically coins and like bars of silver, in exchange for tea. That was the deal. And the British were fine with that. They were like, whatever, man, we'll pay for this. It's such a valuable thing. Eventually, Britain's treasury ran really low on silver, and it became a national crisis. So Britain came up with a horribly unethical solution to their tea silver problem. They started smuggling in opium, the highly addictive narcotic that was illegal in China. Britain would sell this opium in exchange for Chinese silver, which they then used to buy tea. And this was the solution to their problem. An illegal drug trade, which is just mind-blowing to me. Eventually, the Chinese government caught on to this illegal drug trade, and they cracked down. They seized all the opium and threw 20,000 chests of opium into the sea. Britain wasn't happy about China seizing all of its opium, so it showed up with its big gunboats and started a war, the Opium Wars. They eventually negotiated a series of peace deals, and a part of those deals was that China was going to give this rocky island that didn't really have many people living on it to Britain. In the text of the treaty, they put that the British will have Hong Kong for 99 years. But the diplomat who negotiated the treaty said later that in his mind, 99 years was, quote, as good as forever, meaning they had no intention of ever giving it back. So Britain's thirst for tea brought them into a war with China that eventually gave them a new colony, Hong Kong, here in Asia.
Hong Kong, a British colony, a tourist paradise for duty-free shoppers. China, communist China, lies only a few miles away just across the border.
Just walked into this grocery store to meet Billy, who's a historian here, and we're just looking at a bunch of maps, which is like my kind of activity.
因為呢個就係一個十字交界位，係華人聚居、生活同埋洋人活動嘅一個交界處。
So one of the things the British did as soon as they got here is they started drawing their own borders in the city to divide them from the local Chinese.
而呢一條街之所以重要咧，就係我哋分界嘅第一條街道。 就係咁樣嚟去分咗一個無形嘅界線。喺荷里活道以下嘅地方係中國人活動嘅，係上邊咧就係夜晚歐洲人佢哋居住嘅地方。而家嘅情況當然佢唔係一種隔離，但係起碼我哋嘅生活形態其實仍然係有分別。
But let's talk about tea again. It remains a symbol as to the different cultures that exist here in Hong Kong. British influence versus the Chinese influence. The British prefer milk in their tea with crumpets and scones and little cakes. Whereas the Chinese will tell you they do not pervert their tea with milk. And they drink tea with dim sum, little buns and cakes. A British tea situation looks very different. These two traditions played out side by side in the city for many years in a divided way, with the Chinese down in their crowded slums drinking their tea in their tea houses, and the British up on the hills in their aristocratic homes sipping their milk tea. But eventually, over time, those boundaries dissolved and the two cultures started to blend and fuse together.
經過咗幾十年甚至過百年嘅時間之後咧，慢慢其實中國人同歐洲人之間都有一種嘅深入嘅認識，同埋咧係一種嘅默契。
To where today, the tea culture has cropped up that is a perfect fusion of the two. But I hate to break it to you, Britain, 99 years is not forever, like the British diplomat thought it was going to be.
The actual handover ceremony is about to start.
British rule officially comes to an end with a handover ceremony just before midnight.
5-star flag of China, soon to be sovereign over Hong Kong again.
I should like, on behalf of Her Majesty the Queen and of the entire British people, to express our thanks, admiration, affection, and good wishes to all the people of Hong Kong.
On the stroke of midnight, the Red Star flag of China will go up.
For me, it was pure betrayal. We're like being abandoned by the Brits.
There was pride in this mix of like the Chinese values and I guess the Western values.
An identity of a citizen is not like determined by your passport or something. It's something that you treasure, the culture you're living in. We feel lost in our identity.
Our generation have very complicated identity.
Yeah.
Britain giving Hong Kong back to China is the beginning of a new chapter for this city. And so next week, I'm going to explain what happens when China tries to erase this border between Hong Kong and mainland China, and how the people here are resisting.